10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yo,
Hey, what's up, man?
welcome back.
Welcome back to the Stodcast. I didn't really have any other intro planned. Just wanted to say what's up. We don't have a specific set topic this time. We already did that in the previous 2 episodes, so we're just gonna kind of.
Chat.
I don't want to say. Yeah, we're gonna chill. I don't want to say ramble, but we're gonna just kind of jump around.
Jump around. Jump up and get down. Jump.
I was literally just thinking of that. It's like you read my mind.
That's what I do. The only thing I can't read as far as future things is lotto numbers because things would be different if I could do that.
Who knows? They're probably fucking rigged as far as
It
we
might
know. Yeah. But, Go ahead.
Well, just before we started this podcast here, I get a phone call on my cell, and it usually pops up saying, like, potential spam. So obviously when I see that, I don't answer it. So I get like this minute 7-second message, and I literally just listened to it. And it basically, to sum it up, it said that it was an automated message saying that this is so and so from the state of blah blah blah, and my badge number, like my state issued badge and phone number is this, and you qualify for the COVID-19 relief package, and you also qualify for student debt relief, and I don't have any student debt.
Yeah,
also,
you never.
yeah. And also, okay, I qualified for all this. One, I already got all that stuff, and two, like, I would be getting a letter in the mail. Like, that's such a bullshit phone call. So for anybody listening, if you receive this phone call, I highly suggest that you don't even pay it no attention, because
Yeah.
it's pretty sad that it's obviously a scam. They gave me.
You're gonna sink so low that you're going to exploit the virus.
Yeah, they sent me a cell phone number to call back. Like, yeah. Let me call you right up and give you all my bank information. Sure. Like, fuck out of here.
Over the
whatever.
fucking phone, Jesus. Yeah. See, the phone calls I usually get, it usually ends up the same certain way. I get the ring, pick it up, and I say to them, and I say, hello? And then they respond with, we are calling about your vehicle's extended warranty. I'm just like, God fucking damn it, I don't own a car.
Just be like, man, my Lambo, my Ferrari, they're all up to date. Thank you. Like,
well, the thing is, it's an automated voice, so I can't interrupt it.
Yeah, I know. Obviously, you don't own a Lambo and a Ferrari either, so yeah.
Be nice if I did, though.
I would choose Ferrari over Lambo if I had the option.
Yeah, honestly. I would too. But granted, I don't know if I trust driving such an expensive car around this neighborhood.
Well, if you buy one, you should be able to buy another. That's the logic behind owning an exotic car like that.
Yeah.
So anyway, anywho's I was doing some research online, and this is what I was talking to you about. Or actually, I didn't even talk to you about it. It was just an idea. That they have these podcast starter kits, and it would set you up with an interface, a microphone stand, what's it come with? The cords, it basically
the XLR cables.
Yeah, and basically everything you need besides the computer or however you wanted to do it. But then I got thinking, like, and some of those are like, you can pay like, you can go like $100, but your mic probably won't be that great, or it might be, I don't know. But
I mean, I'd rather, yeah.
Well, they got this other set that was $200, and it comes with a really, really nice microphone, and comes with headphones and the cords, the stand, all that, and it's only like $200, and it's on Amazon. And then I got thinking, like, you could maybe get like a not like a MacBook Pro, but like an iPad almost, and you could use that technically. I was thinking. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud. What do you think?
I mean, I think I'd rather get a laptop. I gotta get a desk first, because literally all I'm using right now is a fold-out table. Ones that you use to put your fucking food on when you're watching Netflix, because nobody sits at the table anymore to eat. I
Yeah,
mean,
I've been
like, be honest. I don't know many households that still do that.
eat at the table.
Granted, yeah. I mean, granted, like, it depends on the family and the etiquette and all of that. But,
I tell you
you
what,
know,
there was a time where uh a buddy of mine was like, "Hey man, you should come over for dinner." And this was like obviously back in like, I was like, I'm pretty sure a teenager or something like that. But he's like, "Hey, you should come over to my house for dinner. We're having a cookout." And me and my family, they invited me over. Long story short, um, we all go inside, and I'm like, "Oh, okay, we're not eating outside. No, 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 we're gonna eat at the table." We sit down at the table, and they're asking each other about their day. So how was your day? And da, da, da. And then they're playing games around the table. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I was like, I've never like what? It was more or less like, yeah, I'm eating in my room. Or I'm going out to
yeah.
eat, or I'm not gonna be home. So this was like new to me. I was like, what the fuck? Like, y'all get along? Like, what? But no, 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 no. But what I was saying, it blew me away that they were like, like I wasn't prepared. Like they were playing this game and they were like, okay, cool. And I was like, I didn't know what to do. Like, but I don't know. It was different. But it's
Yeah.
nice. I think it's nice having that time. Like I have my family and stuff. I'm definitely gonna make that a thing, just because it's not much of a thing anymore. That's why I want to make it a thing.
Yeah. And you don't want to become, like, too distant with members in the
Yeah,
family and all
nah.
that.
Like if we're sitting at the
Because,
table, let's cook a great meal. Let's sit down. Let's talk about our day. Leave the cell phone in your room, or whatever. Right now, we're at the table. We're doing this. We're being a family. Like, that always needs to be a thing. Like, family game night, stuff like that. Just
yeah.
just take time. Or let's take a walk around town, and or let's just do something collectively as a family.
Yeah. And because I know that you're not going to be the kind of parent that's, like, giving their kid a tablet at, like, 3, 4 years old.
Hell no. Hell no. Yeah, for those
It's too
listening,
too much of a risk. Yeah.
yes, I'm gonna be well, I guess I am a father, but I'm gonna be a father to a little baby girl. So now all y'all know. I'm
And
looking
it's
forward
funny
to it.
looking. Yeah. It's funny looking back on the old episode. I think it was 9, where you said, "I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a boy," and I'm looking at it and I'm like, didn't
Yeah.
age quite so well.
I was wrong. I was
Yeah.
wrong.
So, like, I don't know. I kind of had that feeling, though, that whenever you expect something to happen, the opposite always is.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes.
That reverse psychology stuff. But I've been thinking about movies lately.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
actually, well, actually, before I get to that, I wanted to, because regarding, like, the tablet thing, because I know that there are some parents, well, some family out there who will, like, have their kids an access to technology in an early age, which, whatever way you raise your kids, it's like whatever, like, not my business. But I know in your case you won't do it because, like, it's a piece of technology, and having access to the internet, like, you don't have your guard up, some bad things could happen.
Oh yeah.
I actually wanted to hold on 1 second. I had to take a sip of water there. I gotta stay hydrated during this before my rant. But like, with YouTube specifically, on like the kids videos, the ones that are, like, meant towards children, a lot of them are really stupid, not gonna lie. I mean, I swear to God, if I hear Baby Shark one more time, I'm gonna slam my head into a fucking wall. But
Baby Shark.
don't look it up. It's a very annoying kids song. But I don't know, like really little kids like listen to it. But it was just something that I remember hearing. I think it once played. I don't know if it played when I was at the mall one time, but I swear to
Yeah.
God, I can remember. I was like, "Why the fuck is it playing here?" I was so angry. But
I have no idea what you're talking about.
But anyway, I don't know. Like some of the before before YouTube made any of these changes, there used to be like on all YouTube videos or most of them, a comment section. You know, people where they would just give their thoughts and stuff, which was a recipe for disaster because, of course, very young children are watching these videos,
Yeah.
and they're
You don't want to read the comments.
Yeah. Well, this was leading to my next talking point. Not just like the fact that they can be like there can be like some troll or whatever, you know, saying some vulgar stuff or whatever, or having a video that leads to something that's, you know, not appropriate, whatever. But the true problem why the comments got turned off on those kids' videos was because there were people who shouldn't have been in posting anything or even on that video to begin with, posting links to chat rooms and other things. And you can pretty much tell what that led to. So user made the good decision of, yeah, so you got to be careful with shit. And like, especially that kind of stuff, like is a problem. It's a problem on every social media, but there are a few in particular.
It's the dark side of the internet, you know. It's
yeah, you just got to stay off of it.
Unfortunately, you know, that's the world we live in right now, man. It's sad.
Granted, I'll be honest. I was exposed to the internet at a very young age as well. Like I first found out about when I was like 10 or 11. You know, I of course ended up finding out about like a lot of cool things, and you know, I was like, oh, this website YouTube, you can watch other people's videos and creations and shit on here. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I remember
Google could answer whatever question you asked it practically when I first found out about it.
It's crazy how far that stuff's come so far. Like it literally, I remember when I was, man, I don't even remember, like it was, I don't know, 96, 98 is when I first, like, actually, no, it wasn't until like, because in 98, I was still playing arcade games on a 98 Compact Pisario, which is a desktop computer, like one of those old dial-up computers.
Yeah,
took like 15 minutes. Yeah. It took like 15 minutes to start up and shit. So I wasn't even aware of the internet until I was probably like, yeah, maybe 11 or 12. I remember you could go to, I think it was Google, and look up old clips of old shows. And, you know, we would sit there and watch like old episodes of All in the Family and stuff like that. And we were so blown away that we could just do that. You know, like, oh my God, this is so cool. And then now look at it. It's insane.
Now everybody takes it for granted now.
It's almost an everyday thing for every single person.
And it's because I'll be honest, even though I did find out about this at a young age and I was very wowed by it, I of course ended up inadvertently finding out about some of the darker, more messed up stuff, and I may have learned some things at that age that I shouldn't have learned. And, you know, that was the risk I took. So, I don't know, learn from my mistakes, I guess. Because you don't want your... All I'm saying is, because now you got all these applications out now, like even for gaming consoles, you could set times, say, all right, you're scheduled to play your Xbox or Switch from like 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. and then it's bedtime, and then the console will go into sleep mode and set reminders and shit. We didn't have this growing back up. The only you know how my parents told me it was time to go to bed. They come into my room. They probably stand in front of the TV saying, "All right, mister, it's time to go to sleep now." Or they'd unplug the thing. It'd be like that scene in Big Daddy. I don't want to study. Just, hey, you just killed me. You know, we didn't have that shit growing up, you and I. And now like and now you have all these applications for it, parental controls, and I'm not saying this is all bad stuff. And it's funny because now that I have like a Switch and all these consoles and tech and stuff, getting like ads for this stuff and getting recommended to get it, and I'm like, what the hell am I gonna do with this? You're preaching to the wrong crowd. This didn't exist like 7-8 years ago.
Yeah, that's what I was saying of how crazy it, like even YouTube, like that shit. It kind of was like almost a I don't know. I don't want to say like underground thing, but he's like you didn't really hear about it, and then at first it was like
it wasn't a corporation
like,
thing.
Yeah, it was more or less like I remember just it was music. Like I was always like, oh man, this is cool. Like you can find music, and then all of a sudden you can find like old video of interviews, and then it became like this. Everybody was their own journalist type thing.
Yeah, and
able to really work for themselves and put themselves out there with really they're in charge of their own thing. Which actually I do want to talk to you about something, but I'll let you finish what you wanted to say.
But so yeah, it wasn't as much of it wasn't a multi-million-dollar thing. This is back when you clicked on the link, it said broadcast yourself. Remember when I used to say that? And it was because back then creators, you couldn't make money off this kind of stuff, like that. You just made it for fun, and you had all the big channels. You had Smosh, Fred, and all of you saw the early days of a lot of these YouTubers who are still successful today, such as Markiplier, PewDiePie, all these dudes. And it is interesting to see how much has changed, because back then you didn't really have high quality equipment either. Most of us, no. we had a webcam, maybe like a microphone on our headset, or or hell, some people, like you look back on all these old videos. I think I remember even when I was watching AVGN, and for those of you who don't know, that's the Angry Video Game Nerd, another old YouTuber. Back when he used to do his very early episodes, this was before digital video was a thing. So he would still film with his camera on like analog tape, and he would have to like put that VHS in, use a DVD like record that footage onto the DVD, export that to the computer, and then edit.
Oh my god!
And he had to do
editing alone must have took forever.
Yeah, well, granted, I believe that's what he did. But it's just, and like ever since he was a kid, he was always very interested in film and all that. So I have mad respect for James and all the effort he's put in and still going after all these years. But one last thing I wanted to say, internet-wise, it was from an old interview that David Bowie was in. This was like 1999, and he was discussing the future of the internet.
Oh yeah, no, I'm
saying.
Yep, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, he's got his round frame glasses, long hair, and it's like, I don't even think we're on the brink of understanding what the internet is going to do to us as a society, both in a positive and a negative way.
All right.
And I'm sitting there, and everyone was like commenting, once again, Bowie was a visionary.
Nah, he was totally.
And it's funny, I also saw him on this like live show interview or whatever. He was like, I don't know, he was like joking around. I can't remember the context exactly, but he ended up saying, yeah, when I was younger, I couldn't get into clown school. And then he just kind of pauses for a moment, and then he says, meme school. And he just smiles and looks around. This was like in 2001. I don't think anybody... I think he meant to say mime, but he like mispronounced it on purpose.
Right.
But a lot of people were...
Like he predicted it.
Yeah, he saw it coming. And I remember somebody else commented on that video saying that Bowie's looking around like he knows something we don't. And rest in peace to him, man. He's
Hell
we're gonna
yeah.
have to do an episode on him one day.
Yeah, for
Um,
real.
but so back to what I was leading into, I've been thinking about movies lately. I'm kind of pissed off at Netflix, if I'm being honest.
That's usually a love-hate relationship.
Yeah, because like they took fucking Scarface off Netflix again. I was like, I want to watch it, couldn't find it.
Oh man, I've owned Scarface since VHS.
Yeah,
The
that's
double,
why
the double VHS.
yeah, I was just going to I'm just gonna go on Amazon and fucking buy a Blu-ray. Because anymore, like especially with
Buy,
Netflix, they're always adding and removing films and shows.
buy,
Like they took
buy,
The Office off a while back, and
buy it off your PS4 and put it in your library.
yeah, I could do that too. It is like I don't know, because now we're in like the digital age where like even DVD and Blu-ray, like even Blu-ray is pretty much becoming obsolete at this point. Unless you're in a place that doesn't really have sufficient access to internet, which was me for quite a few years. Like we didn't.
Well, pretty soon they're gonna, thanks to Elon Musk and Starlink.
Yeah, because growing up, even though I had early exposure to the internet when I was younger, it wasn't a consistent thing for me. Like I was typically running off the neighbor's Wi-Fi. We didn't have money for internet.
we said it was.
Dad,
I was running off the neighbor's Wi-Fi. I was stealing their shit.
I was stealing their shit. Well, yeah, it's their fucking fault they didn't put in a Wi-Fi password.
Don't mean to incriminate myself, but I was stealing their shit.
I'm sorry. Don't arrest me, FBI.
Oh my god, that was hilarious.
But no, I'm just being honest.
Man, I didn't have
you.
any food in my fridge. I had the neighbors. I was stealing their shit.
Remember that fucking scene in Raw where Eddie's talking about his dad getting drunk and he's like, we didn't have any fancy luxuries like food.
We had to eat the toys, Eddie.
It was funny. But shit, where was I?
we were talking movies and stuff. But there is something I would like to ask you.
Yes.
And it pertains to this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously we're trying to gain as much traction as we can with this and all that. Expand it, get better and better, get more followers, get people to really love this, and which I think they already do, but we're gonna try and make it better and better every episode. So it's something I've been debating, because at first I didn't want to, but now I'm kind of like I'm thinking about it, and I don't think it's anything I want to do until I'm back in New York at the house, because I'll have more room, and I'm gonna be able to set up an actual, studio room for this. So I was thinking, because I would also like to have guests on eventually, and do interviews if that's a possibility with people I admire, musicians, act. I really want to like take this really to the next incredible level. That's what I really want to do. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that without making this move that I want to do. I think I can, but I'm not exactly sure. And what I'm talking about, I left you in hella suspense there for like a minute and a half. Like
I'm on
what
the edge of my seat.
what I want to do, I ain't telling you about until I explain everything without telling you. All right, so what do you think about doing a video podcast?
I definitely thought about it. I can't do it at the moment because like I don't have sufficient lighting or really enough space in my room.
Here's what I was thinking also is like, even with you, since like, you're a co-host and all that, and this is what we do. like, even if once I made that move and I had the podcast room and I did go to video and I was uploading and doing interviews and having guests on and, doing the episodes, there will be a day where I'm like, hey, I'm going to fly you out. And then we can literally do like a reveal episode, like, hey, like, bam, like, this is us. Sorry, I know, but here we are. But I don't know, man. I think like, because obviously I'm on YouTube, but it's just my podcast episodes. There's no video, there's no picture. It's just audio, and I don't know. Like, part of me didn't want to, and then I don't know. I don't know, man. What do you think? What do you think?
Well, I can understand your sort of I guess being unsure about it, because people, like, I'm not saying everyone, but some people can be very superficial when it comes to your appearance, and they can sort of gather a different viewpoint or perspective on you if they do see your actual appearance.
Right.
And it can be a risk that you can take. I mean, like, even there are entertainers on YouTube who don't want to reveal their face for that exact reason. In fact, there's one in particular who's been, like, people have been trying to dox him, like, leaking personal information, and you got to keep your guard up for something like that. Granted, this person in particular I'm talking about has an enormous fan base, and it grew in such, like, a short amount of time.
Right. And that's what I was having this conversation with somebody the other day, and I was like, well, I didn't want to at first because I was just like, I just kind of want to, do the Slipknot thing where, they're doing all this stuff, but no one really knows their faces and all that. But then at the same time, I was like, well, because me and a buddy of mine were having a conversation about this, like, he's like, when you're having these conversations and you guys are really getting into it back and forth, you're laughing, and you can, like, for people who know you, they can close their eyes and see your reactions. They can see, how you would, say this and then move around, and you're very animated and all that. And for people who don't know you, they're just hearing the voice. They can hear the excitement, hear this and that, but they can't put a picture to it. And I think when there's a picture attached to it, it's more engaging. You know what I mean? It'll pique your interest a little bit more rather than just like audio and all that, which I totally get. It'd be like watching, it'd be like popping in Scarface and then just turning around and hearing the audio. If you've seen the movie, you can picture it. But if you haven't seen the movie, then you're just hearing this audio, and it's probably not you're going to be very interested in more. You're going to want to turn around and watch the movie. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think my whole plan is like, once we get back at the house and everything's settled, and I'm gonna make one of the rooms like a podcast and studio room, and make it look really cool, make it an awesome vibe, and just
put some tapestries up, laser lights, fog machine.
No, oh my God, no. I'm not putting up tapestries, but paint it up. Maybe get like a customized sign for the podcast itself. Make that look really cool. And just make it like a really cool, chill vibe. You know what I mean? Put some little knick-knack stuff in there that's really all about us. And I think then maybe consider the video thing, which will be probably within the next 3-4 months, honestly. But I don't know, man. I'm debating it. And for those listening, if you want to leave comments or let me know what you think, or anybody who already does do that, I'm all ears to some pointers and all that other stuff. So I don't know.
Yeah, because my main concern is lighting. Like, that you want to make it consistent, but you also don't want it to obscure anything in the camera eye. So
Yeah, no. I would make sure that I'd be doing a bunch of test runs before I actually went live with it. Trust me.
would it be one camera or multiple cameras?
Um, I would probably just have a stationary camera that would capture both sides of the both sides of the podcast table, and I was thinking too, like, since we kind of have to do this via call in with you, um, you know, maybe get you a setup as well so I can broadcast you on like a screen so we can kind of have that face to face, almost like a fucking FaceTime or something, but on like a big screen, a nice clear, crisp, good camera for both of us to make it look like super professional and make it look clean and clear and under control. you know,
Yeah,
I don't know.
and
I've been brainstorming.
yeah, because granted, if we did do like the multicam thing eventually, we'd have to figure out like how to switch between cameras. Like especially if we're gonna live stream it, all right, like we go to the reverse shot or whatever. And
Yeah.
I don't know how any of that stuff works yet, so I don't know. I'll have to look into it more.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that would all come down in the editing, and like as far as like video editing. Are you playing a drum over there?
Sorry, I was tapping on the armrest.
But I think, obviously I would need video editing equipment as well. Well, not equipment, but software, which I have audio editing software. I would just need, the video editing software. It's just stuff I've been thinking about. And I think I would eventually like to make the switch, to be honest with you. Because I think it would be a little more, I think we gain a little more traction.
Yeah, I think it would drop more. Like when you have a visualization of it makes it more, I guess, intimate and engaging to the audience. So yeah, I can definitely see why it's been dawning on you lately.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I considered it a while ago, and I was like, nah, I'm gonna ride it out for a little bit. I'm gonna see how far this audio goes, and we've been doing great. This is awesome, man. I'm so excited about every episode. Like, I have that same excitement about this episode that I did with the first episode, and as we're still very fresh and new in this, and we're still gaining more and more, but it's not going as quick as I would really like it to. I mean, obviously everybody wants, to, you know, success doesn't come in a overnight thing. I mean, it may look that way, but behind the scenes, it's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of dedication. It's a lot of bumps in the road, ups, downs, turns, scrapes, it's a long road. And if we just stay consistent and we stay doing this and, keep positive about it, and just every follower is like, if I get on here and I see I have one more follower today, it makes my day. I'm just like, I did something. Like, somebody somewhere, like, I see you guys in Canada, and I see you guys, like, it's all in Quebec and over in Colorado and New York, and we had some people listening from Mexico and the United Kingdom. And the fact that I'm communicating with people around the world right now, and they're taking the time to just listen to us talk about what we talk about, and I'm engaging with these total strangers, and something that we're doing, they're liking, which is, it's just so, it's very fulfilling, to, go to work every day and then come home and, pay bills and be in your average life, and then have something like this that really is just kind of like right, it started as a hobby, but it's turning into like, maybe I can do something with this, and I hope it inspires other people to do stuff, and to like take a step, maybe start that clothing line, just fuck it. Why not?
Yeah.
You know, like fuck it.
Fuck it.
Seriously, because like, what are you gonna do? You're either gonna lose a little bit of money, or you might get discouraged that it didn't work out. But it will if you just take your time and do it. You know, I think I said this on a podcast before. Like, if you're cooking a steak and you take your time with that steak, like it's gonna be if you season it correctly and cook it to you take your time and make sure it's awesome. It's gonna turn out great. If you just throw it in a hot pan, fry it up as quick as you can because you're hungry, it's probably not gonna be that enjoyable. You know what I'm saying? I think I said that before, or maybe I was just talking.
You did. I think that may have been on like our first or second episode that we did together.
Sometimes I repeat myself. Sometimes I repeat myself.
Anyways, back to the Boom 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 shirts.
I seriously want to make those. I seriously want to make those.
It's gonna be.
Just put.
It's
just
becoming a running joke at this point.
Yeah, man, I swear. Like, I seriously want to make those and like have our own little sayings, because we little, I guess you say, catchphrases, but they're unique to us and anybody listening. Maybe we'll do a giveaway, for our like first however many followers, and free merch just for supporting us since day one type thing. We'll do something like that. I think that's cool. I think I'm really looking forward to doing something like that.
Yeah, and I would love it to get to that point. I mean, hell, if it gets successful enough to where I can just quit the stupid job I'm working at, or both of us, then just if we could just do that. Yeah.
That's the thing is, like, there's nothing wrong with work. You're gonna work every day, period. No matter what you're doing, you're gonna be going to work. It's not like you make it and then you just get to chill on a beach and call it a day. And who would want to do that? Yeah, I know, but like, who would want to do that anyway? You know what I mean? Like, I'd much rather just, I made it this far, see how much further I can go, or let me try this. Let me go talk to this group of people and see if I can inspire them. Let me, just take a chance. That's all it is. Just, if you don't take the chance, you're going to regret not doing it. And then if you do take the chance, it's either going to not work out and just, I tried, and maybe that just isn't for me. Let me try something else. Everybody's born with some talent, some gift. Everybody has something. Nobody is born without some sort of talent or some sort of hidden thing that they know they can do well. It's just some people just don't find it, or they don't exercise it enough to make it something. Do what you love.
Because everything else is bullshit. No, I'm kidding. Well, I sounded like a nihilist just then, but just enjoy. Like, if you aren't able to enjoy what you love doing, then like you don't want to become sort of robotic when it comes to going through your day-to-day life, I guess, is what I'm trying to say here, because I've definitely felt that way before.
Well, yeah, and here's the thing. I was talking to somebody the other day. Like, even right now, if you have a job that you're not happy at, and you're working because you need to pay your bills, you need to live. Don't get caught up in the work to home, pay bills, because you're gonna be miserable. You're gonna, next thing you know, a year has gone by and you didn't even go on vacation, you didn't even go camping, you didn't even do anything you really wanted to do, because like, you're just caught up. All right, I got enough money till next week, and blah blah blah. But maybe find a way to make time doing what you love when you get home. Set aside time and money to do all that stuff. And this shitty job you're working right now is helping support your hobby, or like what you really want to do. And then that'll keep you more focused, because now you feel like you're working for something. You know what I mean?
That's just sort of the main thing that I try to keep in them, because monotony will kill you if you let it take control. But I like to be smooth with transitions. Anyways, because I don't know, like, the only thing that's been on my mind is like films and whatnot. And one in particular.
Which one?
The Big Lebowski. 1998 Coen Brothers classic.
Yeah, that is a classic. I like when he's like, "What the fuck is this, Lebowski?" he's, he's holding the bowling ball. He's like, "Obviously, you're not a golfer." Like,
You know what bothered me the
it's one of my
most is
favorite
that when he
lines.
dropped the ball, he wrecked his fucking tile.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
I'm like, where's the money, Lebowski? I'm not sure. Let me look again.
it's down there somewhere. Let me take another look.
Yeah, I hope he pulls through with his cancer diagnosis and all that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
because like it's just and the great thing like about that film is that the roles for John Goodman, Jeff Bridges, and Steve Buscemi, like those roles were made for them specifically, and it's Jeff Bridges' most known role. Granted, he was in previous films like Tron, and I'm talking like the original Tron. Um, but this is like his most standout one. I guess it's just the sort of the structure of the plot. Because I'll admit, like upon first viewing, this film's probably going to confuse you. The plot takes a little bit of time to. It's one of those films that's kind of a bit like I don't want to say all over the place, but it's not as linear. Kind of
Yeah.
like a Tarantino movie. You know how in Pulp Fiction where it starts at the end.
Well, Tarantino movies are notorious for kind of jumping here, going here, jumping back. You know, they're notorious for that. Almost every one of his films are kind of like that.
Yeah, and it's just I'm trying to think of some other scenes when
Well-
when huh.
Well, you got talking about directors, man. Like hands down, I think my favorite director. Yeah, I'd have to say, honestly, it's Scorsese.
Yeah, Scorsese.
Honestly.
I knew you were gonna
Like,
say him. I was
yeah,
like
like-
mouthing the words right before you said it.
Like honestly, I think that he's hands down to me, he's one of the greats for sure.
Yeah. When it comes to favorite directors, it's him. I like John Carpenter as well. I think how he also like directs, but also composes a lot of the soundtrack
Oh!
for his films. I
Mel
always found it
Brooks.
really
Mel Brooks as
Mel
well.
Brooks as well. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Granted, he's not as serious
No,
as a
no,
director,
no.
but
It's a whole different conversation, but he's still a director at the end of the day, so it's you
yeah.
know, genius.
I mean,
He's
like,
genius.
what we got here? Blazing Saddles, Young Frankenstein, Airplane, Robin Hood Men in Tights. Yeah, just like a whole bunch of
Spaceballs.
yeah, Spaceballs as well. Yeah, how could I forget that?
How many assholes do I have on this ship? Well,
I
yeah,
knew
I
it.
don't
I'm
know.
surrounded by assholes.
We ain't found shit.
Well, when you said comb the desert, sir.
I thought that, man, I don't know. Yeah, you'll never have filmmaking like that ever again. Ever. It's too much
Yeah.
CGI and shit now. There's nothing wrong with it, but when it's overused, it makes it not believable. It takes the imaginative, because a little part in your brain goes, yeah, right. And then as soon as that happens, you're like, you lost me. You know?
Yeah, because like first use I saw of CGI in a film was in the original Tron, and I'll be honest, this was like early CGI. Also another notable early example, Jurassic Park. Like it was innovative at the time, but granted, you look back on it and you're like,
Well,
hmm.
I mean, honestly, we watched that not too long ago, and I was actually impressed on how well they did at that time. It's not that bad. Like
Yeah.
there are kind of cringy moments, but at the same time, it's really not that bad. Like I even look back at some of the old SNL skits, and which they're all like the '90s SNL was just that was SNL to me, but there are some that I looked back on that when I was a kid, they were just God, they were hilarious, like just had me dying laughing. And then like I watch him now, and I'm like, but it's just because you're older and you're more coherent, I guess you would say, about like writing, and you can tell when it's like being overdone, I guess. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
and
when you can see an actor act, and SNL is not really a good example because it's SNL. It's all you're joking around. It's not like you're in a fucking Oscar-winning movie. But when you can see an actor acting, that's the problem. Like that's the issue. Like when you can't even decipher, like when you really believe, like when they create a character and you can walk away from it thinking that that was an actual person, that's they did their job. In my
yeah,
opinion. I'm telling you, I
yeah,
would
and
love,
that's
I would love to be an actor, man. Swear to God, I always wanted to ever since I was a little kid. That's the other thing I should just jump the gun and do.
yeah, because we could do this and also have um sort of make your mark. Acting wise, I think it could be a very interesting thing. Like personally, I have thought about acting myself. It wouldn't be in person though. I'd probably do more or less voice acting because if I'm being honest, appearance wise, I don't think I'm as strong in that area. Uh, but I don't know. I like trying to, or at least I'm trying to sort of get used to the skill of trying to see what kind of range I have and other like voices I can do. Like I remember
Well,
when I was younger, I used to try to do impressions of like my favorite characters off like cartoons and shit.
yeah, I enjoy impressions. They were always my go-to as a kid. I'd be acting out movies and shit like that. I lived in my imagination as a kid. I still do, honestly. Like I'm always in my head. Honestly, I don't know. Like as far as music, you know, it's all part of the creative process. You know what I mean? Like if you have some sort of creative bone in you, I think it. Whether you're writing a book, painting a picture, playing music or acting or whatever you're doing, it's all part of the creative process. I think that's why everything kind of coincides with the other.
Yeah, and when it, because I'll be honest, especially like with the impressions, like every time I bring up Scarface, just like that voice comes out. Like on the first episode, especially as soon as I mention that film, you're like, "Oh, don't get me started on that, man." I try to do like your impression of it at work, but I can't nail it. Like I can't get it the way that you can do it.
Yeah, I love
There's something I'm
Scarface.
missing.
You said there's a something I'm missing. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
Something about that role. I loved that movie when I first saw it. I was like, I fell in love with that shit.
yeah,
All the classics, man. Like all the classics everybody loves. Like everybody. You can do an impression of Scarface out of the blue, just talking to somebody random, and they'll know exactly what you're doing. You know what I mean?
yeah. Remember
And
when I told you that one of my friends said that he didn't like that film, and you were just like, "What the fuck?"
yeah, stop being friends with him.
And like it reminds me of that one scene in Family Guy where Peter's like, "You know what? I'm gonna be honest. I never cared for The Godfather," and everybody's like, "What? How could you say something like that?"
yeah, yeah. We were just watching that the other day. Oddly enough. Yep.
Yeah.
I love that classic fucking movie. Francis Coppola. Great.
Like even if we're just like, because that was the film that gave Al Pacino his start, and hell, like even with I don't know, like, but granted, I would say like the most identifiable part was Marlon Brando's. Um, like Vito Corleone is just such a distinct like character and voice. Although I will admit it's hard to do.
I honestly I liked Luca Brasi a lot. Don Corleone, thank you for inviting me to your daughter's wedding. Like, just the way he was talking and he approached that, like it was just so funny. But he was like this stone cold like killer, But he seemed like such a nice guy.
Oh, and do you remember that scene? What was it? It was Sonny who beat the shit out of that guy
Oh,
who was harassing his sister.
yeah. He hit her. He kept hitting her and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which, oddly enough, the girl that played him was Rocky's wife. You've seen Rocky, right? Like, you've seen all the Rockies?
Not all of them.
Oh my lord!
As weird as it sounds, because like, I'm of course very well familiar with them, but like, I don't know, like I never got a chance to see them like all, like
Man, they used to
in
do
order
these.
and all that.
Oh my god, they used to do these Rocky marathons on like really late at night, all day on TV. You go to this channel, they were playing nothing but the Rocky marathon. So I'd sit there and just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like all the way through that shit. And yeah, they're great. They're great movies. Great movies. The Rambos were good too, up until a certain point. But the Terminator thing, I kind of lost touch with that after part 2. Really, 3 was pretty good, but I don't know. I didn't really hop on the Terminator train really that much.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty much like the whole, I don't
It
know.
was James Cameron who directed those, right?
I believe so.
Because I believe he is like the
Yeah,
highest
no,
grossing
yeah.
like
No, it was,
film
yeah.
director. Because he
No, it was
directed Titanic, and that was like,
that was
like,
man. Hey, when I first when that shit first came out, um, everybody kind of it was like, oh, this sappy love story, but they're on the Titanic and all that. I thought it was just a cool idea. Like I thought that was a very brilliant way to kind of incorporate, this make believe love story with this historic real event. Kind of just capture the lives of these two random people that were aboard this boat. It was a great idea. It was great. I mean, that shit grossed over $1 billion in the fucking
yeah.
and that movie did so well they put it back in theaters. Like so you can go watch the shit. Like that man, that's when you know a movie made it.
Yeah, and James Cameron also went on to do the movie Avatar. Now, I'm not talking about. There's two different. Okay, so when I say Avatar, people are thinking of one of two things. They're thinking of James Cameron's sort of virtual, it's not even virtual, but well, everyone pretty much knows the plot. Soldier puts on he goes into this. I don't really know this pod thing. And when he's asleep, he's on this other planet interacting with these other people. This other species on and it was just, I don't know. I vaguely remember the film, but then there was,
Well, it was almost like a, what the hell is that movie? I can't think of it, but it's basically like this. It's just like a sleep thing. Like they just put you to sleep and you're in this alternate universe with this headset type thing. It's almost like a dream state. But you're really there. But I thought that movie was great. I thought that was incredible, actually. There was nothing like that. The closest thing to that type of animation, like Toy Story, Bugs Life, stuff like that. But that took animation to a whole nother level. That shit looked like real for the time.
Yeah, and because when I refer to the film Avatar, they're either thinking of James Cameron's I think that's either second or it topped Titanic in highest grossing film. I can't remember exactly, but and then there's the film that was based off of the TV show that used to be on Nickelodeon, Last Airbender. I think you might remember that. There was a live action remake did it, and it fucking sucked.
Yeah. I remember that.
I'm not gonna throw M. Night Shyamalan under the bus, but his output hasn't been that successful since The Sixth Sense. because what did he do? He did films like that, Happy Death Day, fucking The Visit. I'm sorry, but like that scene in The Visit where the kid's rapping is burned into my memory. I'm like,
well, I'm honestly the grandmother running around the fucking house at night kind of creeped me out.
yeah.
Or like, hey, get in the oven to clean it. Like what? Like this bitch crazy. And then the fact that they were just like two crazies that escaped from a fucking mental asylum, killed these fucking, just like what? It was. I mean, it got me thinking too. Like, great, now he's gonna be the one that hears this episode. Be like, hey, wait a minute, I'm gonna call in. Let me tell you something. Yeah, I'll be like, nice job, man, nice job.
But
now
well, the common motif with M. Night Shyamalan, he's known for putting a lot of plot twists in his film. Even in The Sixth Sense, this was apparent. I'm not gonna spoil that film because it is his most well-known film. I'd recommend you guys go watch it first. It's in no way a bad film.
There's actually a new one that he has just come out with.
The one with the beach?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a fucking ad for that. That pulled me in. Like, dude, I saw that and I was like, this is nothing I've seen before. And I was like, you know what? My faith's been restored in you. I'll give you a shot.
Yeah, see, like that, I saw that and I was like, man, that looks good as fuck. Like, I can't remember the name of it. I cannot remember the name of it.
Fuck, what was it called? Hold on, I gotta look this up. Hold on.
Hang on a second, because if you try to look it up, I don't know if it's gonna disconnect you or what it's gonna do.
Hold on, I'm just
don't touch your thing.
I already am. Okay, it's called Old, but
Old.
So
that's what it was.
So let me go. Okay, so for those of you, this ad only showed up once on my phone, and I never saw it again. All that I remember, it's a new film, M. Night Shyamalan's directing. So basically, this family, they go camping or whatever, and they go to this beach. They're just chilling. They're sitting there, these parents with these really young kids, and one of the kids goes missing, and they're trying to look around for it, and like, I believe no one else was around, like on that beach side, and they find that I'm going vaguely based off of memory, but they find one of the kids, but the kid is older and more grown up, like sort of in their more teen years. And basically it's like this curse with the island that like everybody like age gets sped up like drastically.
Mm-hmm.
And they're trying to find their way off of it, but they're fucking trapped and they're coming across like dead bodies and shit. Bones. Yeah. And, I gotta hand it to him. This is no concept that I've ever heard of before. And it's really interesting. Granted, I don't really know sort of the logic behind it. I mean, granted, I guess you'll just have to see the movie, but it was suspenseful and it was unique because I'm going to be honest, a lot of thriller and horror movies these days, I'm going to just let you say this. What are the usual cliches you see? A fucking jump scare every 5 minutes?
No, hey, I'm telling you right now. If you want a creepy movie to watch and watch it by yourself in your room at night with all the lights off, watch Hereditary. Creepy as shit.
What's Hereditary about?
I don't really want to tell you. You just gotta watch it. You just gotta watch it.
All right.
Because if I try to explain it, there's so much to it, and I don't want you to expect anything. I want you to watch it completely. Just trust me.
Well, is it like a psychological thriller? Is it like a slasher or
no? No.
Psychological thrillers I like a lot.
It will psychologically fuck you up for a second. Honestly, I had anxiety building when I was watching that shit. Like I literally like felt like holy fuck when I was watching that shit. Like seriously, that shit was crazy.
Yeah, because I'll be honest, like I'm not gonna put all horror films into that category, but there are certain like tropes that you see, especially in ones now, it almost becomes predictable, and it's always the same guy voicing it. this summer. You know,
You, me, us.
I knew we were gonna go to that fucking Dane Cook routine, but no, like from when it comes to modern horror films and like the tropes it follows, to me, it started with Insidious and it went on from there.
Insidious was creepy.
It was, but I feel like another thing that happens is like with a lot of horror films, they can never just end it. They always got to leave like something undone for sequels,
Yeah.
which isn't always a bad thing. I mean,
Yeah.
granted, if you want to keep that suspense in the audience coming back, but if it gets to the point where you're just clearly milking it, then it,
Yeah.
like it
I just-
happened with The Conjuring.
Yeah.
Remember when they did
Well,
The Nun? That flopped.
Yeah, we just went and saw the new Conjuring in theaters. I mean, I didn't think it was bad. It had its parts in it. But my problem is I can't get on the whole like I can't get with like the jump scare thing, and it doesn't. I like the creepy shit more, like the you don't know what the fuck's about to happen because like that's how fucked up it is, and then it's like if you have all these
The
little
subtlety.
these fucking CGI jump scare faces and shit like that, like I don't know, like
Yeah, because I'll be honest. Like, I'm not saying it's always a bad tactic. I mean, it happened in Friday the 13th, happened in the first one, but
yeah, but
you know
that-
was a new thing back then, and
right.
it wasn't.
Freddy Krueger, shit like that. Michael Myers, Halloween was my favorite. That was Michael Myers.
Oh,
was my
Halloween!
favorite.
I feel like that doesn't get enough appreciation when it comes to
Yeah.
slasher films,
Yeah.
despite how iconic it is. And that was
Yeah.
shot on a low budget, the original
Right.
one, in the course of like 30 or so days.
Yeah.
And what I liked about the original, like the subtlety, like Michael never just showed up. Like
Right.
you would see his mask vaguely appear in the dark, like behind Laurie or whatever,
Yeah, right.
and just you kind of saw what do they call it? The shape. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
I'm telling you right now that Hereditary will be probably the most scary, creepy movie that you've watched in quite a while. Guaranteed.
yeah, I'm definitely gonna check it out because, like,
I think
I do-
it's on Hulu or Amazon Prime is what it's on.
I'll have to check it out.
Or Amazon
Rent it.
Video or whatever. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
really
Prime Video.
you will not regret renting it, guaranteed.
But it's going to I'll have to keep a bag keep a I was gonna make a gross joke, but no.
No,
anyways,
seriously, you're gonna feel. I'm telling you, you just wait. When you watch that, text me and be like, "Holy fuck, you were right." I'll know exactly what you're talking about.
but yeah, when it comes to jump scares, because like I feel like they can be used in good effect, but it does get overused to the point where you just know it's gonna happen. And the problem is you don't really have a way of preparing for it. It's just exploiting your reflexes is really like your natural instincts. But you know, you hear a sudden sound or noise or sudden movement, it's going to make you flinch. It's a survival tactic that almost all like sentient creatures have. Well, like most complex sentient creatures like us.
Yeah.
It's you know, if we didn't have that, we'd die. So, we not in this specific context, but you know what I mean. And it's just, I don't know, it just gets to the point where it's so stale, and I prefer something that's a little bit more subtle, you know?
Yeah.
Something that has build up and tension to it.
Oh, this definitely does.
Like if I were to just give like a simple example, like feeling somebody like breathing down your neck or something, just
Well,
you
it's like
feel
when
a
you-
presence behind you.
Yeah.
but
Well,
you'll
it's like walking through a haunted house thing. You know, like you're just walking through there. You're expecting shit to jump out in front of you, which it does. But when you have somebody that, like, you just feel like somebody's behind you, it's like you're, you know, when you feel that presence behind you, it's scary as fuck because, like, you don't know what it is, you don't know what to expect, and boom, boom, like, there it is again.
or where you're walking alone at night. Like, I don't know if anyone else does this, but you're always like checking behind you because you see
Right.
too many of those films and it becomes cemented in your head. Like,
Well, especially if you're walking around at night or going on a jog and you got headphones in. I'm always looking over, like I'm always like looking around. I'm very aware of my surroundings, Like
and the thing is, I don't even
somebody
stop to
jogging
turn
up,
and look.
yeah. Well, if I'm like jogging around and shit, and it's nighttime, and like I see somebody, they come up, they run close behind me. I turn around, give them a fucking roundhouse kick to the face. Oh fuck! I'm like, God damn it, what are you doing, bro? Huh? You trying to fucking rob me? Nah, man, shit.
It's
I was just out
probably
there to jog myself.
well, since you have like earbuds in, that's one of your senses that's kind of like obscured.
Right.
So like your sense of movement in your environment is altered, so it gives you that sense of unease. But you also want to play the music to fill the silence because I'll be honest, when I'm walking down the street and I feel like I'm being followed, I don't stop and turn. I turn around, walk backwards, check and look, and I go back. I look weird as hell doing it, but it's just like I gotta keep moving. you know? Or I
No,
like turn
100%.
my head as I'm walking. Yeah, it's just and I think something else. Because I'll be honest, like Insidious, I don't think overall is a bad horror film. I just think it started this, not revolution, but just a series of motifs that became present in later films. Because I'll admit, that demon creeped the fuck out of me, although it did look like it was crossbred between Darth Maul and the Centaur. It does. Go back and watch it and tell me I'm wrong.
Darth Maul and a centaur.
It does. And you gotta love the use of Tiny Tim's music in that thing. Tiptoe through the window.
Yeah.
Because of that music. Now because of that music, nobody can look at those songs the same.
Right. Well, yeah, that was the scene that it creeped me out too. Like she takes the trash out and shit, and she looks in the window and sees that kid standing there just dancing to the record. It's like, what the fuck? Like there ain't even no one supposed to be home. What the fuck?
Yeah. Granted, that set tension, but when he went into the beyond or whatever the fuck it was to retrieve his son, I can't remember what they called it. But when there's a term for it when you jump out of your own body. Like astral projection, that's what it's called.
Yep, astral projection.
So, like that was an interesting concept to include. Like I'll admit it. Like but that scene where they actually see the demon and he's like, what is he doing? Like polishing or sharpening like his claws or whatever. And he's listening to that music and he's kind of dancing. Looking back on it, I can't take it seriously.
Right.
It looks funny to me,
Yeah, kind of like Jeepers Creepers. Like that was good back in the day, but if I watch it now, I'm like, eh.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I don't like that film. I really don't. And you know why?
No, I don't.
You don't know what? Oh boy. Well, this is gonna lead into because now I can never see the film. Like, I don't even like hearing about it. I don't pay it any attention, and it's specific. Like to me, there's some plot holes in it as far as I'm concerned. They don't give a whole lot of explanation, so it feels contrived.
We should just call plot holes potholes. It's basically the same thing.
Yeah. But when it comes to but never mind the story and like all of that, but it's specific to the person who created the film, the director. Now I'm going to be getting into some disturbing topics.
No. Let's skip that.
Let's not get into this.
Well, now I know what you're talking about. Yeah. We'll skip that.
Oh, but for those of you just like you're going to have to find this out in your own time, but I will warn you, it's extremely fucked up. I can't even put it into words. Yeah. But that is why I do not like that film. I don't like hearing about it, and I certainly didn't like the fucking sequels. I mean, people didn't want the third one being made for that reason.
Right.
And
yeah. Well,
anyways, going on from that, there's I guess like other horror films like with John Carpenter, like specifically, I did kind of like granted like his most well-known like horror film would be The Thing, which was I will admit it's a very gory
Eh.
like film, but it has sort of a but once again, it's like the soundtrack that kind of like makes John Carpenter films for me, you
Yeah.
know. And when it comes to the Halloween series, though, do you remember the third one that they did? And it had nothing to do with Michael whatsoever.
Yeah, the
About
witch,
those
the season
masks.
of the season of the witch, right?
Yeah, I
That was
didn't
it.
really understand that one when I
Yeah,
was
me
like, where
neither.
the fuck's Michael?
It still to this day makes no sense to me whatsoever. I'm just like, if anybody can explain it, go ahead. I'm all ears. But I've seen that like 3, 4, 5, 6 times trying to understand it, and I still to this day I have no idea what the fuck's going on at all, or what that
Yeah,
had to
it's
do with anything. Like I don't
like
know.
a fever dream. Yeah.
Should have named it.
uh,
Should have named it. Fucking I don't know, something completely different than what they're trying to refer to because it had nothing to do with it.
the
I don't know.
Golden Shamrock Massacre or some shit like that. Remember the little jingle they used to play on the TV? And like basically, like for those of you who aren't familiar with this film, it has nothing to do with Michael whatsoever. So I don't even know why it's in the Halloween universe. But um, there's this like company that makes these Halloween masks called Golden Shamrock, I believe it was called. And you know, it had this little jingle, and it would say like, you know, 5 more days to Halloween, and there was like, I don't know, like chips. There was something in the masks that if you were wearing them while you watched the commercial, it killed you. It like exploded your head. There was bugs and shit. I don't know what exactly the fucking meaning of all of it was. I still can't figure it out to this day.
I think
I made
somebody.
more.
I
Huh?
think somebody just got really high and was like, "I have an idea." Like,
Like to me, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas makes more sense than that film,
oh my god,
and
that
that
was
is one confusing. Huh?
yeah, but it's a brilliant movie though.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. That's actually one of my favorite Johnny Depp roles. As
Yeah,
weird as that sounds.
he
Um.
was. Yeah, man, that was an awesome fucking movie. I enjoyed the hell out of that.
Yeah.
But
Um.
yeah, I
I
don't
love
know.
that. Huh?
Go ahead, go ahead.
Oh, I love that scene when they pick up the hippie on the side of the road. That's actually Toby Maguire that you see.
Yeah,
That's the guy who would go on to play Spider-Man in those.
yeah.
Those were the ones that they're starting to get more love towards them now, but when they came out, people didn't like them. But I thought they were good. But
Well,
they pick up.
it's people's version of classic. Like they'll figure out what like they'll say that's classic, even though after it ages after a certain period of time, they'll refer to it as a classic.
Yeah, and but when they pick him up and they're driving in the car, and like uh Duke's doing his narration, and he's just like, "Did I just say that, or just think it? Can they hear me?" And then he turns to him and he's like, "I want you to understand one thing. Can you hear me?"
Yeah, I love that shit. I love that shit.
And
Um,
when it comes to portrayals of like an acid trip, I would have to say like that probably has the most accurate when he's looking at the carpet and it's moving
yeah,
and it's
it
kind of
was
like
all.
crawling up the dude.
It was based on Hunter S. Thompson.
Yeah,
Like,
Hunter S. Yeah, it was the
I
film
did.
that kind of like
That dude was fucking. He was. Whew, you want to talk a partier and a crazy dude? That was him.
it because there was that version. There was that movie where Johnny Depp played his role. I actually got to meet Hunter S. Thompson himself, but Bill Murray also
He
did a
lived with
film.
him.
Oh, I didn't know that he lived with him.
Oh yeah, like
He
he lived in his basement.
passed away here in Colorado.
Yeah, they
Which
shot
is
his ashes on like a rocket into the sky.
oh, that's
That was
fucking awesome.
that was one of his dying wishes is like be shot into the sky and like blown up.
That'd be awesome. That's how I'd want to go out like that. That'd be cool. But shit, because like Bill Murray also played the role of Hunter S. Thompson in a previous film in like '82 called Where the Buffalo Roam. So there's two different films about him. Just Fear and Loathing's a little bit more over the place. You know, it's kind of hard to follow at times. And granted,
Yeah.
it is about a drug binge.
Yeah,
in
that's
Sin
well, that's the
City,
whole
so-
thing. It's supposed to be kind of like crazy and all that shit. But yeah, I don't know. I enjoyed that shit. There's so I can go on and on about movies I enjoyed and the ones I hated. But
Yeah, because we
I don't
spent a
know.
good 20 minutes on this alone.
Well, I was about to say I think we've this has been a good episode, man. I think we can probably wrap it up. And again, if you have any suggestions, like, please give us a follow, give us a like, comment, anything. The support is much appreciated. We're gonna try to keep giving you really good content. We're trying to get better and better, and we loving the support. We appreciate it. I appreciate the hell out of it. We have fun
So
doing
do
this,
I.
man. Hell yeah, have fun doing this. I appreciate your time though, man. We'll be back at it again.
Thanks, man. It's no problem.
All right,
Be looking forward to it.
fellow Stockcasters, we are out. Peace.
Peace.